Gustafson Barlette with Times Union and TimesUnion.com. And welcome to 20 Things Plus, where we catch up with somebody previously featured on the Times Union's 20 Things You Don't Know About Me. Today, I am joined by Jack Carpenter. Jack is the co-creator of Two Buttons Deep. That is a local media entertainment company. They're based in Troy, but you'll find them all around the capital region. And recently, they were even down in Washington, D.C. Hi, Jack.
Hey, Kristi. You're looking good today.
Do you like it? Your co-creator, Taylor Rayo, she and I had a little rendezvous last week, and she hooked me up with the sweatshirt and the hat. And I'm loving it. It made getting dressed today easy, and it's comfortable. And we match.
It's, I mean, this was unplanned, so this was meant to be. I almost wore the gray, so we're going to ask Jessica to color code this. We'll test her skills.
I said I want to surprise Jack when we go live. So we're going to get updated on a couple of your original 20 things. You'll share a couple of new things, and we'll play a game at the end.
Sounds good.
And we're starting with, originally you talked about how you loved living in Troy. It was the best place to live. Is it still the best place to live?
I do love Troy, and I endorse living there. I was a Troy boy for 3 years, but we came to Albany right before the pandemic, unfortunately. I was born in Albany, so it's completely full circle for me. I love living here. I actually live in the old Times Union building where it used to be based. We'll get into that a little bit later, but I love Albany. I go for a walk on the plaza almost every night. I think it's a gem of a city. And this is the first apartment that I've lived in personally that has a dishwasher, which is a complete game changer for those who know. And the building that I live in, it's called the Nick, and it's a phenomenal community. It almost feels like a dorm. And we swear to God, we're living in a sitcom. I have like 8 really good friends here, and all we've done is spend time with each other because there's nothing else to do this year. And if cameras have been rolling, we could have recreated the show Friends here at the Nick. We're all living on top of each other. There's drama, there's hookups, and we're always hanging out at McGeary's Pub. And anyone who thinks about moving to Albany, I highly encourage you to do so.
So McGeary's Pub is within walking distance. Is that your number one place to walk to? If you're going to go out and grab something to eat or grab a drink at night, where are you going? Is McGeary's your first stop?
Well, we had 3. We had McGeary's, we had Amma, and we had Bishop, which were all like social, distant, walkable, accessible places. Unfortunately, 2 out of 3 of those have gone down. So we're holding on to McGeary's for dear life. We love them. They love us, and we're making it work.
All right. It sounds like life is good in Albany and you're enjoying yourself. And now we're going to learn about your dog, Duke. I know he's not around anymore, but he did win a pretty cool contest when he was here. And what's going on with him, or with that, I should say?
I mean, yeah, he's 6 feet under, but he was a great dog, one of the best to ever walk the earth. He was my best friend, and he won back-to-back best personality at the Mohawk Humane's Yappy Hour. So, you know, that's a pretty pristine title. However, I'm a big subscriber to the quote, dogs don't live your whole life. Dogs don't live your whole life, but they make your life whole. And I've got a new dog in my life. It's my girlfriend's dog. It's a little Jack Russell Beagle mutt, adopted last May from the animal shelter in Schoharie. And she's a total dork. She's so cute. She has this underbite that could serve Thanksgiving dinner, and we love her. And right now, obviously everything's shut down, but I'm grooming her to hopefully retain that title going forward at the next Yappy Hour.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. So does she stay with you sometimes? Does she get to live Albany the way you live Albany and go out for walks down the street?
Oh yeah, that's who I walk around the plaza with. She's a great apartment dog, super relaxed, not too high energy, which is surprising for a Jack Russell. I had a Jack Russell earlier in my life who was an absolute lunatic, bit my face off. I had to get plastic surgery from her, so I'm very happy that this one hasn't done that yet.
I'm surprised you don't have some sort of like post-traumatic, worry with being around that kind of dog. Then that's pretty good. She must be a winner, or the girlfriend's a winner. So when she comes with the dog, it all comes as a package deal.
Yeah, I tell my girlfriend I probably wouldn't be dating her if it wasn't for the dog. I was attracted to the dog first, and then the love blossomed. It was a true quarantine love story.
And honesty is the most important thing in relationships, right? So you started off being honest.
Yes.
Very good. All right, now we'll learn a couple of new things about you. I know you have, with Two Buttons Deep, you have a great partnership with Stewart's and with Gary Dake. We've talked to Gary Dake before on this program, and you kind of got some cool Stewart's memorabilia, right, that few people have. Tell us a little bit about that.
I did. So Gary is our official, unofficial president of Two Buttons Deep. We declared that, not him. And he knows we all love Mountain Brew. Have you ever had it?
I don't drink.
Oh, all right. So
it's nothing against Mountain Brew. It's just against, if it's not water or Stewart's milkshake, I'm not drinking it. But go ahead, tell me about it anyway.
Mountain Brew was the cheapest drink of any beverage at Stewart's. It was cheaper than water. So that speaks for itself. It was very infamous because it had a bunch of icons of people doing things at the bottom, like running, fishing, and it had the infamous third man on the can. And we got Gary to admit, kind of on the record, but after it was off the market, that the guy was puking on the can. And I think that also speaks for itself. But he knew how much we loved this, even though it got pulled from the shelves. So he reserved us the last case. And after a little duel with my co-founder, Taylor, I ended up being the owner of the final can of Stewart's Mountain Brew in the world, which I keep nicely up on my shelf in this nice little trophy.
Oh my gosh, it's like a trophy.
It's better than a trophy. Like I could open up and drink it if necessary, but it's signed by Gary, and this will live on wherever I go, dishwasher or no dishwasher, but I keep it in a very safe place away from the sun so it doesn't explode, and I'm very proud to own that.
I mean, that would be something. You talk about the reality TV in the apartment, if the whole box just exploded because of the Mountain Brew beer, could not take the heat.
Listen, pun intended, but crazier things have happened, so we'll see.
All right, well, that's very cool. I know you've gotten to do some cool stuff and have gotten some cool things out of this too. So next, we're looking at your apartment. You're standing in your apartment. I've been watching you on Instagram kind of take this from bland to fun. So what have you been doing and how did you come up with these ideas? So
there's a lot to decorate here in the Nick because it was an old newspaper building. We have like 12-foot high ceilings, which is ridiculous. But I figured I'd have a ton of time. You would think I would have time to decorate being isolated and working remote for the last year. But for some reason I procrastinated. And then I will credit my girlfriend. She came through with the new creativity kick and got me going because I have wanted to do this gallery wall ever since I moved in. So I'll give you a little showcase there. That's a piece of it. And I'll take you down history lane. So we're living in a place called the Nick, which is named after Knickerbocker News and the Times-Union, which was here until, I want to say like the 70s, maybe. I'm not sure. But when my dad was a kid, he delivered the Knickerbocker News in Delmar. And that's his newspaper carrier that he used to deliver the paper that came from this building. And also, almost 75 years ago to this day, February 13th, my grandpa was a prisoner of war in World War II, and they put out his notice in this paper from this very building, and now it's sitting here. So a lot of full circle stuff going on here, and I'm happy that I finally got that done.
That is very cool. I remember when you posted about putting your grandfather, the article up on the wall, and that just seems so, it's so kismet. It's just crazy that you have that, you're living in that building. It was in this newspaper. And I'm guessing, is that your most, I don't know, significant piece that's on the wall, or is there something that has more meaning?
I got Duke up there in that tiny little one. So maybe he's going to give him a run for the money. But yeah, certainly I'd say my grandpa takes the cake.
And Duke is the personality winning dog that we talked about before. Very cool.
Can't argue with that.
All right. And then finally, you gave a speech, right, during your brother's wedding, and he got married during the pandemic, if I remember correctly.
He did. And they went all through all the hoops that you could go through having a COVID wedding. You know, it was stressful, and it was all this back and forth the whole time, and it ended up being somewhat compromised from what they original planned, but it did go off without a hook. It was incredible. Everything worked out. We followed protocol for the ceremony, and then we ended up being able to be outside. He was at the Army Navy Club. He lives down in Arlington, Virginia, so it's basically like the Saratoga National equivalent of there, and like overlooking all the national monuments and stuff, and it was a phenomenal night. So it worked out. But he asked me to give a best man speech like 6 months prior, before we really knew how it would end up. So I had like 6 months to prepare for this speech, and I'm all going back and forth in ideas. And the entire time, throughout the 6 months, my mom is bugging me. She's like, Jack, get a new suit. Jack, get a new suit. Go to Mark Thomas, get a suit. Because I have like a couple suit jackets, but I do not own a full suit, and I don't like dressing up. But my brother's the complete opposite. He's a real estate agent, so he dresses in a suit to like go walk his dog. So he's all in on that. I'm the complete opposite. And a few years ago, he had given me a few suits that he didn't want anymore. So she's pushing me, nudging me. And next thing I know, it's the Monday before the wedding. Wedding's Friday. It's Monday. And I'm like, oh, I do need a suit. So I'm like, all right, I remembered that he gave me some old suits. So I go to try one on and I look good because him and I have the same build and it's perfect. I'm like, this is it. And I'm ready, but I'm still like a little nervous about what I'm going to talk about. I have a few stories. And as I'm trying on my suit, my girlfriend's looking at it and I realize that he left a couple things in the pockets. So I start emptying it. And in one pocket, he has his old business cards. And I'm like, nice. And then in the next pocket, I find $20. And I'm like, even better. And then in the third pocket, I find a condom. And I realize he was like subliminally trying to help me get a girlfriend and, help me move on. So I told this story of how my brother has always had my back and that, he's always been there for me. And the punchline was that he was setting me up for a perfect date night because it's 2 for $20 at Chili's.
Hopefully, with this girlfriend starter kit that my brother has, one day down the road, I can end up in a place like this, marrying a girl like Blair.
And then for Christmas, so I gave that speech, went off great, everyone loved it. And then for Christmas, they ended up getting me a gift card to Chili's and some condoms. So that's what I'm doing for Valentine's Day.
Well, I love it. And I will say, I picture you being the best wedding speech giver because I tell you all the time, you're so good on your videos when you do those man on the street things. You've got these great one-liners. You're sort of like a late night TV host with the things you come up with. So I feel like you're just naturally going to make everybody laugh, especially at a time where a lot of people feel like, oh, it feels so heavy and I haven't laughed in so long. So I'm guessing your brother and everyone probably really appreciated that. Yeah,
that may have been why they picked me, but I'm glad it came around because I had some other stories that may have gotten him in trouble. So, everything worked out in the end. It was great. It was a perfect wedding, and I was very happy for it.
Very cool. All right, maybe he'll be giving the best man speech at your wedding next.
I set the bar high, so we'll see what he does.
Yeah. Okay, very cool. So now at this point, Jack, we play a little game where you and anybody watching will try to guess who's going to be featured on Monday's 20 Things You Don't Know About Me. So people can guess by tweeting me at Just Kristi, tweeting the Times Union at Times Union, or commenting on this video on the Times Union's Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter. I will tell you in advance, people only get it right about 15% of the time. And this she's a woman, is awesome, but this is going to be hard, I think, but we'll try, okay? So here's the first clue. I have a brother who is a world-renowned and top-ranked professional golf instructor. I'm following in my father's footsteps by being elected as vice president to the board of the National Gas and Welding Distributors Association. I know that's an association you follow closely, right?
Yeah, it's right on my wall.
And this last one probably isn't going to help, but everybody loves relationship things and tidbits and stories, like you told your relationship stories, so I had to throw this in. My husband and I were engaged within 30 days of dating. Because when you know, you know.
Okay.
I'm going to give you one more clue that might help.
All right.
One of the 20 things that I didn't choose, but it might help a little bit. She says how her husband built and designed their home with his own hands. And that is because that is his profession. And it's named after him as well.
Oh, God.
All right, like I said, I don't...
Is she or was she in the media? No. Oh.
Never in the media. But you and everyone else can find out at 7 a.m. on Monday on timesunion.com. Like I said, it's a tough one. She's really cool, and I think people will like learning about her. But I know who it is, and I would still think it would be hard to guess. So everyone on to timesunion.com that morning. Thank you again, Jack. People need to check out Two Buttons Deep on Instagram, Facebook. I know you're on TikTok. You've done the videos, right? That you're going to TikTok now.
I hate TikTok, but we're there.
But you're there. And I always laugh out loud. I always nod my head. You guys do an awesome job. I mean, I love the Times Union, obviously, that's where my heart is, but you are my next stop all the time because you guys are just really great at what you do. So thank you for keeping us all laughing and entertained.
Thank you for having me.